Okay. So, on the front of this packet, you've got a lot of written information. I hope that you've read it. Let's review real quickly just the vocabulary that's on the right-hand side. Perspective is a way of showing where the observer is. The objects themselves don't have perspective. You, the observer, do. One-point perspective. One-point perspective occurs when rectangular forms are placed so that sides are either parallel to the picture plane or perpendicular to it. There's one central vanishing point in one-point perspective. So let's talk about these first two things. The first point is that perspective comes from where the viewer is, not from the object. All right? So the type of perspective that I use depends on the way I am looking at the objects in the picture. It does not depend on anything else. All right? So I use one-point perspective when I'm looking straight at the side of an object. So this side of the house, the little house here, is parallel to the imaginary window I'm looking through in this picture. It's perpendicular to my line of vision. All right? And these sides are perpendicular to the window that I'm looking through, or parallel to my line of vision. All right, so I use one-point perspective in this case. Two-point perspective. Two-point perspective is necessary when rectangular objects are positioned so that their faces are at an angle to the artist's line of sight. There are two vanishing points for an object in two-point perspective. If there are two cubes at different angles to the viewer, each cube will have its own vanishing points, but only one horizon line. So, to reiterate, let's look on a blank sheet of paper. If we've got this box here, all right, when the box has this surface right here, flat to the camera, we're going to use one-point perspective. Okay, we've got one vanishing point in the middle of here. All the sides, the angles are going towards that. When one of these edges starts to be the closest thing, we're going to use two-point perspective. And we're going to talk about two-point perspective more when we get to the next packet. But what I want you to understand is which type of perspective you use depends on the angle you're viewing something from. Okay? That's the main idea here. Horizon line. The horizon line is the same as the real horizon, where the Earth meets the sky. The horizon line is also considered to be the artist's eye level. If the horizon line cannot be seen because of obstructions, it can be located by drawing a line at the artist's eye level. Vanishing points. In perspective, the lines of an object extend to meet the vanishing point, which is on the horizon line. Orthogonal lines. The term used to describe parallel lines which appear to converge in the system of linear one-point perspective. So those are these lines here that go to the vanishing point. Okay? Those lines, you'll notice when we draw them, they get closer and closer together until they get to the vanishing point. In reality, they're parallel lines. All right? In reality, the bottom of this edge of the box doesn't get any closer to the top. It stays the same distance away. In reality, this is, what, 10 feet? Right here, right? And this is also 10 feet. Even though it looks smaller, they're both 10 feet. Or whatever. I'm guessing about 10 feet. Okay, so horizontal lines are straight lines that run parallel to the horizon. Vertical lines are lines that go up and down. They're drawn at right angles to the horizon. And diagonal lines are a straight line from the corner to the opposite diagonal corner of a cube, rectangle, parallelogram, etc. I don't know if they use those in those, but it's useful. So, our first exercise here, we're basically trying to find these vocabulary words in photographs, okay? So what we're going to do to start is we're going to find the horizon line. So the horizon line is going to be ostensibly at the eye level of the viewer. That doesn't work very well for this first picture. So how can we find the horizon line? So these handrails here, they're parallel, right? They're the same distance apart, like handrails are. Okay? But they look like they're moving diagonally. So that means that they are orthogonal lines. If I take these lines, and this one's a little bit wonky, but if I take them and extend them, the place where they intersect is going to be my vanishing point. And my vanishing point is usually going to be on the horizon. So I can extrapolate where my horizon is from there. Okay? So here's my horizon. So next let's draw the vanishing point. I'm going to label that VP. Orthogonal lines. There's a lot of orthogonal lines here. Let's do 6 of them, okay? We won't necessarily worry about getting them all. So the handrails each make one. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to label those OL. 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 I could also have them down here along the edges of the stairs. O, L, O, L. There are also sometimes, like, not even necessarily lines in the picture, but if I look at the top of these sort of doorways, I can see that they're kind of lined up along a diagonal for their positioning, so that would be an orthogonal line as well. OL. And it's not perfect. This is built on a hill. There's nature involved here, so not everything's perfect and geometric. But this is like the line of where the top post meets the side posts here. Okay? Vertical lines. So the vertical lines in this one aren't totally vertical, but they would be these side posts. The reason for this, you're getting a little bit of fisheye from the lens they use. So that's going to be VL. Do like 6 of those. Do we have any other good examples of vertical lines? I don't think so, mostly the posts. Okay. So to review, got the horizon about here. Okay. Orthogonal lines we see in the handrails. We see in the sides of the stairs. Oh, we got vertical lines in the stairs too, like the sides of the stairs here. These are all vertical lines, right? All right, we've got orthogonals in the intersections of the posts and the beams going across. All right, and our vanishing point is where all of those orthogonals meet. So let's label all those too. We can label the horizon. If you want to label the horizon, you can label it horizon or you can label it HL. That'll work. So we got horizon line, VP, vanishing point, OL, orthogonal lines. Let's get 4 to 6 of those. VL, vertical lines. All right. Next, let's take a look at this one here. So we've got a lot of orthogonal lines here. All right. You can see some of these orthogonals are angling down like this, right? Oh, no. Some of them are angling down a little bit less, like this. Oh, no. Some of them are angling up. So we can find the horizon by finding where the orthogonal lines are or would be horizontal. I can also look at where they meet, and that's my vanishing point. So here's my VP. I've got orthogonal lines along this side, and I've got a horizon line right here. The horizon line is going to usually run through the vanishing point, so I can use that to find my horizon line. I can also look at... What's that?
Are there any times it doesn't go through?
It's possible for it not to, depending on kind of the curvature of the land in front of you. Like if you look out at a road and it's going over a hill and then back down the other side, the horizon might be lower than the vanishing point. Yeah, it's possible. Okay. So we also have orthogonals over on the boat side here. If I look at the windows here, I'll notice that they're all lined up along these orthogonal lines. So you'll notice that the top and the bottom of these windows here are lined up on the orthogonal lines. OL, OL. So I can not only use them to figure out placement of the windows, but I can also use them to figure out size, because they're going to get kind of smaller or appear to get smaller as they move away. All right. I've also got kind of another orthogonal lining up these lifeboats. Okay. And then my vertical lines, I've got nice examples here on these windows. Kind of go all the way up. Let's see. I've got some more over here. And these support beams on the ship. All right? Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? All right. So we've learned how to spot all of those elements in a photograph. So let's talk about how to do the boxes in perspective. So for this exercise, all we're going to be doing is drawing the sides on the boxes. So if we think about the side that's facing us, the viewer, as being the front of the box, we're going to be drawing the sides. That can include the left side, the right side, the bottom, or the top. So all we're going to do is we have to figure out which sides are going to be visible. So again, we take the direction that the box is from the vanishing point and reverse it. So this one's up above the vanishing point, so we're going to be able to see the bottom. So we connect the vanishing point lightly to the corners. All right? Now we don't necessarily want the box to go all the way to the vanishing point. That'd be a really long box. So we draw then a horizontal line to make the back, and we can darken in the rest of it. Okay? We kind of do that same thing all the way around. All right? And then when we add the back, do a vertical line. Working those in. So if I draw these orthogonal lines lightly, I can kind of leave them there. Or you can kind of erase intermittently, make some dotted lines. All right. So I just want to kind of work my way around and get all of those boxes. All right. On to the next one. I'm going to leave you to do some of those, hoping that you can extend your knowledge. All right, so this is going to be a little bit different. So each of these letters is going to have its own vanishing point. It's not normally what we do. All right, but for this exercise, they're each going to have their own. So let's look at the T. Okay, so here we had the T, and we had a vanishing point for our T. And we extend orthogonal lines to each corner. All right. Where the orthogonal lines are covered up by the T itself, we don't need to draw sides. But where they're not covered by the T, we do need to draw sides. So which one should we do next? Let's pick kind of a harder one. Let's do the A. Okay, so here's my A. Here's my vanishing point for the letter A. All right. So I'm going to draw lightly, and I'm just going to connect each corner to the vanishing point. All right? So I've connected every corner on the A to the vanishing point. I don't need to worry about the stuff that's hidden by the A. So I'm going to erase that. I don't need to worry about that.
Are you supposed to connect the little corners in the actual little tiny triangle in the middle?
What's that?
So like,
I just need to worry about this one, because these ones are going to be going towards the vanishing point. All right. Now, again, I don't want to have a super long A that goes all the way to the vanishing point. I want to draw the back of it. So to do that, I need to look at this line here to start. Okay? I want to draw parallel lines. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line going over to the side. Now, I want to look at this line here and draw a parallel line. It's going to be a little tricky because it's not a vertical line. It's a little bit diagonal. Now, I don't have to worry about these lines here, so I can erase these out. I'm going to draw a parallel line matching this one here. Another one matching this one here. And if you actually go in and trace the line a little bit, maybe you can get a better feel for the angle than this one here. Okay? Another way to think about this. The A is up above the vanishing point, so I only need to draw the bottom of it. Okay? I need to draw these sides because, look, this right side is to the left of the vanishing point, and this side is to the right of the vanishing point, so I need to draw those. But otherwise, I just need to draw the bottom. So when you're trying to figure out which surfaces to draw, and that's going to be the tricky part of this, you need to think about, is the side between, when I'm looking at it, is the side going to be between the front of the figure and the vanishing point? Okay, so there's my A. I also want to draw the inside here. And I was maybe going to go something like that. Okay. So there's my A. Let's do the E. All right, so for the E here, the front is over to the left. The vanishing point is over to the right. I'm going to be drawing the right side of the E. So I need to connect all the points that are on the right side of the figure to the vanishing point. Do I need to draw this one? No, because it is covered. Right? It's covered by the E. I don't need to draw it. One of the really fundamental skills that I see a lot of students not being able to do is drawing lightly. So let's make a real effort on these to just take our pencil, hold it as lightly as you can. Don't push it into the paper. Just let it sit on the paper. Let the weight of the pencil and a little bit of the weight of your hand meet. Push the pencil down and make the lightest line you can. I see a lot of students, I say draw lightly. They say, okay, that's not drawing lightly. Drawing lightly, I think, is one of the most important early skills you can develop. And I think it's a really simple skill, so it's often overlooked. But a lot of you don't do it. All right. So to draw the back of our E, we want a line that's parallel to this one. So that's going to be right here. Line that's parallel to this one. And this line's going to connect to the first line we drew. So we're going to have a nice corner here. It's going to go da-da-da. Da-da-da. Line that's parallel to this one here. This one I'm going to have to judge it. I'm going to say parallel to this line here. I'm going to put it about here. I want it to have the same thickness as right here. I should actually move it in a little bit now that I look at it. Uh-oh. Alright, we still got plenty of time. Sure. Alright, another one parallel to this line here. So that's going to be the same spot as right here, up above. Okay. Parallel to this line. And here. Okay, so there's our E. Alright, so where are we at? So that's exercise 1 through 3. That looks like all we're going to get through today. Alright, so we'll work on the rest of them next time. Try to use the next 5 minutes to get as much of those completed as possible.